Staying organized in a big project can in itself be a big project. Fortunately, Davinci Resolve has a bunch of tools that help you stay organized, and we're going to look at a few of them. This time I want to focus on the use of color, like clip color, color markers, that kind of thing, because Resolve offers a bunch of things and I'm not really sure everybody's aware of them. So let's have a look here. I have a timeline here, just basic kind of, I've used it a few times. The video itself isn't all that important. It has all the elements in it that we need to organize. So let me first show you what I've done in the media pool. This is all shot on my phone, but you see here that we have B-roll shots, and then at some point here we run into like talking headshots here. So there's B-roll and A-roll. And if you look in the metadata here, make this a little bit larger, I'm looking at the shot and scene metadata, and I have keywords for A-roll and for B-roll, and I think I have keywords for when I'm in the van. So I've already gone through this manually and added these keywords. I'll show you why. So if we look at the edit here, this is probably A-roll here. This is probably B-roll here on top, and the audio is separated into different tracks so that certain things can be different volumes. You can see here in the mixer, I've got different volumes for the talking head, maybe talking head in a different environment, and yet sound effects, yet again, different volume. I think I have a fourth track in there. Yeah, that's all the way up. So now those keywords, check this out. I have the folder selected where I have all my phone footage, and I just want to see my B-roll. Wait, why isn't it showing up? It's showing me nothing. Because the filter by default to the file name. We need to set that to all fields, and now the B-roll shots will show up. Now, incidentally, in this view, I'll make the icons a little bit larger. You see how some of these shots have these little red markers in them? That shows you that that clip, that part specifically of that clip, is used in a timeline somewhere. In this case, it's this timeline. It doesn't say which timeline, but in this case, it's the only one we have. So let's go back to smaller here. I'm going to go ahead and select all of these, right click, and go to clip color. And let's make the B-roll shots apricot. So now I can see in my timeline where all my B-roll is. Let's go ahead and do the same thing for A-roll. And we'll say make the A-roll clip color violet. There's a bunch of, the rest of that is probably van. So we'll go to van. We'll select all of these, and we will make that clip color, let's say orange. So now you can see that my entire timeline, at a glance, if I remember which colors I'm using, I can tell how much of a mix of visible A-roll and B-roll I have going on. I also can see that these clips here don't have a color. Did I miss some categorization? I did. So now we can clear the keywords here, and I'm going to right click on one of these and go to Find in Media Pool. Here it is. Let's go back to our media pool here, and indeed, I missed out on a keyword. So let me show you how this works. In the media page, this is going to default to, I think, shot and scene, so this should be what comes up. So if you select a file, and you go to keyword or any of the other fields that you might want to use, you can type in whatever you want, hit enter, and that'll save it. Let's say I want to do multiple files, and I will also say van and hit enter, but you see down at the bottom there's discard or save. If I click off of this, it's going to prompt me to save it. So I'm going to go ahead, apply that, fine. So back to our edit. These colors are applied to the files themselves rather than to the clips. And that's how, even though we're looking at a different timeline over here, part of the different edit over here, all of those colors translate. So what I'm going to do now is take away all of those colors. I'm going to select all of my phone footage and go clip color, clear clip color. And now my clips are all by the default color. Let's do this a different way then. Let's assume that audio 1 is all going to be A roll. Or we want to color everything that's audio 1 in a particular way. So here on the timeline, you can do the same thing. Because the audio is in separate tracks, it's really easy to select just those clips. So let's go ahead and grab those. And we can go clip color. We'll make these guys orange. Now that doesn't change the clip color in the media pool. It just changes it on that specific timeline. And in this way, you can pass notes back and forth between different editors based on the color of the clip. So orange could be something that you definitely want to keep, or something that's really well done. Let's say that this part of the project you're not really that sure about. It's kind of tentative, so we're going to make that beige. You know, the colors that you choose are up to you. But if you and your team are all using the same colors, or you use the same colors across all the different projects that you're doing, this can really help you stay organized and move things along pretty quickly. Now, that's clip colors. I want to show you one more thing with this. Let's pretend, for example, these clips right here are shot on a different camera, and I want to color correct them. We'll make those yellow. If we go to the color page, all the different cuts are kind of like mixed together in a way that's not entirely intuitive when you're looking at the clips. But watch this. In this little clip menu here, we can take the drop down, and we're going to select clips with the clip color of yellow. And now you're seeing only the yellow clips that you marked in the edit that you know you need to color correct in a particular way. If we go back to the edit page, and let's say we want to make changes to all of our clips marked in orange. Well, if you go to the timeline menu, you can select clips by clip color orange. And now you see wherever there is an orange clip on the timeline, it will be selected. And if you want to say make these all a little bit zoomed in, you can do that. And that will apply to every single orange clip. Now we have markers. And the marker button is right here. I'll zoom in on a part here. Let's say, for example, that this transition here is goofy and we want to make a note of it because you don't have time right now to fix it. You can just hit this marker button right here, and a little marker will show up in the timeline track here if you have no clip selected. And if you click on it, you can put a note in there. Need transition. For example, that's one way of doing it. Now, let's say this clip right here needs to be changed. It's a clip that needs to have something else there. If you hit the marker button, that marker will appear inside the clip rather than on the timeline. So if you move the clip around, or the clip gets moved as part of a move or ripple delete, that marker will still stay on that clip, so you can reference it later. What if you want it to be a different color? Well, if you've already hit the button, you can open up a marker and change its color down here. If you want to do a marker of a different color by default, you can hit the little down arrow here and choose which color. Now that'll put a marker right where you are, but you can always go into it, remove that marker, and the color that you've chosen is still there. So you can be going along, working on a project, and just dropping markers in where something needs to change. It's really fast, and then you can go back and have a look at those to see what you need to do. So there's the shortcut key by default, I believe, is M, which will put a marker. And if you hit that key again, it'll bring up the UI to leave a note. Now, there is an index up here, and you can see that markers is one of the lists of things that it will show you. And from here, you can see, I need a new transition, and there it is. And when you click on it, it will take you to it in the timeline. Really easy way of leaving notes to yourself or another editor if you notice something that you need to work on, but you're not working on that part of it just yet and don't want to get distracted. Textbook way that organization can help you speed up your workflow and keep from getting distracted into the weeds of something. Like you might not want to do color correction right away, but you can put notes into the timeline itself about what needs to be color corrected later. So that's a quick look at how the different clip colors and markers and marker colors can be used to Helps keep organized. Maybe make notes to yourself when you're in the midst of an edit. If you're going through and doing a rough cut and you see something that needs to be color corrected later, you can quickly put that note in there in a way that you can find it later, either by clip color or marker color. They're pretty handy tools, and I don't know that they really get a lot of attention, especially when people are just getting started. But give it a try. See how it works for you. Hope that's helpful. Thanks for coming along, and I'll catch you in the next one.